All right, welcome. Today we are diving into a world that's all around us, but totally invisible. We're going to pull back the curtain on one of nature's greatest magic tricks, how plants literally build themselves out of thin air and sunlight. Let's jump in.
Okay, I want you to picture a truly gigantic tree, a massive ancient sequoia. Think about all that wood, all of its weight. Where did all of that stuff actually come from? Now, the obvious guess, right, is that it sucked it all up from the soil. But what if I told you that's almost completely wrong? That's right. The huge majority of that tree's mass was pulled directly out of the air. It sounds totally impossible, I know, but it's the simple truth behind one of the most important processes on planet Earth. And that process, of course, is photosynthesis.
So let's get into what this whole thing is about. We're talking about the ultimate solar power system. It's a process that has quite literally shaped our world, creating the food we eat and the very air we breathe. So at its heart, photosynthesis is just how plants make their own food. The name even tells you what it is. It literally means putting together with light. You see, plants don't eat the way we do. They are master manufacturers, building their own energy from the simplest ingredients you can possibly imagine. The easiest way to think about this is like a recipe. The ingredients are incredibly simple. Some light energy from the sun, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide from the air, and 6 molecules of water from the soil. The plant then works its magic to create 2 crucial things. First, 1 molecule of glucose, that's sugar, which is both the plant's food and its main building block. And second, as a byproduct, it releases 6 molecules of pure, life-giving oxygen. But to see how this recipe actually gets made, we need to zoom in. I mean, way, way in. We're going deep inside a plant cell, to the exact spot where all this amazing chemistry takes place, a tiny green factory called the chloroplast. So just think of the chloroplast as a tiny, perfectly designed, solar-powered factory. These little green engines are what give plants their color, and they are the only place where photosynthesis can happen. This is exactly why you and I can't just sunbathe to get our energy. We don't have these little factories inside ourselves. And just like any good factory, this one has specialized departments. You've got the thylakoids, which are basically the solar panels, packed with the green pigment chlorophyll that soaks up sunlight. These panels are stacked up neatly into what are called grana, which just helps them capture as much light as possible. And all of this sits inside the stroma, which you can picture as the main factory floor, a fluid-filled space where the final product, sugar, is actually built. The whole show can really be broken down into 2 main acts. Act 1 happens on those solar panels, the thylakoids. Its entire goal is just to capture light energy and store it in some temporary battery molecules. Then Act 2 happens out on the factory floor, the stroma. It doesn't need light directly, but it uses all the energy it got from Act 1 to build sugar out of carbon dioxide. So let's take a closer look at Act 1. All right, Act 1. This is the light-dependent stage. It's all about one thing: turning pure light energy from the sun into a usable chemical form that the plant can actually work with. This is where the action really kicks off. So the journey starts when a single particle of light, a photon, slams into a molecule of chlorophyll. This jolt of energy is so powerful, it actually splits a water molecule apart. That action kicks an electron into a high-energy state. As that electron calms down, its energy is carefully captured and used to charge up 2 special little rechargeable batteries, called ATP and NADPH. These batteries are what will power the next stage. And hey, remember when that water molecule got split apart? Well, that process has a name, photolysis, and it releases oxygen as a waste product. Just think about that. Every single breath you take is possible thanks to this first act of photosynthesis happening in countless leaves all over the planet at this very moment. Okay, so the batteries are fully charged. Now we can move on to Act 2. This is the light-independent stage, often called the Kelvin cycle. We're moving off the solar panels and onto the factory floor, where the real construction is about to begin. So those ATP and NADPH molecules just buzzing with energy from Act 1 now flood the stroma. They provide all the power needed to do something incredible. Take a simple gas from the air and turn it into a solid, stable sugar molecule. This is where the real building happens. This whole construction project is called the Kelvin cycle, and it's just a brilliant repeating loop of chemical reactions. It takes the energy from those charged batteries and uses it to fix carbon from the air, locking it into an organic molecule. So how much raw material does it take to build a sugar molecule from, thin air? Well, the cycle has to spin a total of 6 times. Each time it goes around, it grabs one molecule of carbon dioxide. So only after 6 full rotations has it collected enough carbon to build a single molecule of glucose. It's an amazing feat of molecular engineering. You can think of it like an assembly line with 3 main steps. First, an enzyme called rubisco reaches out and grabs, or fixes, a CO2 molecule. Next, in the reduction step, our energy batteries ATP and NADPH are spent to transform that CO2 into a simple sugar. And finally, in the regeneration step, a bit more energy is used to reset the whole assembly line so it's ready to grab the next CO2 molecule that comes along. Okay, so we've zoomed deep into this microscopic factory. Now it's time to zoom all the way back out and look at what this tiny little engine means for the entire planet. And honestly, its impact is almost impossible to overstate. So why does this all matter so much? Well, for one, it creates the foundation of almost every food chain. The energy plants capture literally feeds the world. 2, it produces pretty much all the oxygen that we and most other animals need to live. 3, it acts like a giant global air filter, pulling huge amounts of CO2 out of the atmosphere. And get this, the energy locked away in fossil fuels, that's really just ancient sunlight captured by photosynthesis millions and millions of years ago. But of course, this factory doesn't operate in a bubble. Its performance depends on the environment around it. Things like light intensity, CO2 levels, temperature, and of course water can all limit how fast it can run. If any of these are in short supply, it can slow down or even stop the whole process. And that has huge implications for everything from farming to our global climate. This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? This one process has completely reshaped our planet, changing the very makeup of our atmosphere and paving the way for all the complex life, including us, that exists today. So, the next time you look at a simple green leaf, just remember the entire universe of activity that's happening inside. It is a direct, unbroken line from the energy of a star millions of miles away to the food on your plate and the very air in your lungs. It's all connected. And that leaves you with a final thought to chew on. In a world that's desperately searching for clean, renewable energy, plants have had it figured out for billions of years. It really makes you wonder, what other incredible secrets are still waiting for us, hiding inside a single, unassuming leaf?